Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we have a podcast. It's going to be a little more serious and straight to the point because I'm super disappointed about FL Studio 2024. This is no shade to ImageLine, no shade to the developers. I know they put in hard blood, sweat, and tears. To me, my honest, truthful opinion is that when I truly reacted to this FL Studio 2024 in the latest video, I'll leave it a link below. When I truly reacted to it for the first time, I thought to myself, this is a rushed product. I think they're rushing for the 4th of July just to get it out. I think it's because I'm a plugin developer myself. I have a plugin called Hercules. If you go to HerculesPlugin.com, you can actually see the website and you'll learn more about like the plugin that I built. Thank goodness. And in that process, like I can tell when I thoroughly went through all the tests and the quality assurance from when I just kind of threw out a feature to see if people liked it or not. You know, it's a difference between taking that time to go through all the systems and testing on Mac, testing on PC, testing this versus that. Now I know they're on a different level because they deal with so many computers around the world, so many users. I get that part. 2024, here's the glaringly obvious things. All right, guys, I'm going to be honest with you because I can't recommend it right now. I can't even recommend somebody crack the plugin because it's not even that, it's just not there. Okay. And I would never recommend cracking softwares. I'm just telling you guys, 2024, it stutters. So I'll click something on a Mac at least. I'm just speaking from a Mac's perspective. I'll click on something and it will like stop. And then I'll click on something else and it will stop. As a music producer, we have to be fast. Not only do we have to deal with like latency from upping the audio buffer length, but we have to get our ideas out fast or else we lose them. So speed should be really like, the whole thing about FL Studio was the low CPU usage, speed of use. You could load up a plugin that sounds just like a pro plugin without all the extra CPU stuff. So that was the fun part of FL. You get your ideas out really quickly and then you could, you know, dress it up later down the line, so to speak. 2024 is like, even with nothing happening, you click a thing and then it's like, you click another thing and it, like imagine my video is just freezing every 2 seconds. It's like impossible to really have the experience. And that's one thing that I hate to say, and this is no shade to the developers, because I had a developer on the update like come in the comments and we wanted to praise him and the whole development team. I want this to be clear. This is not a like shading to the developers, meaning we're not harshly critiquing you guys. We're not harshly critiquing ImageLine. You guys know you're the top dog in the world. The point that we're trying to make is that it's unusable right now. So I don't understand the name jump from FL 21.3 or whatever it was to 24. It makes people think that something is so new, maybe because the last launch didn't work out right. But to me, as a person who teaches, you know, we've taught over 1 million producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, on and on and on. So when we train this many producers, I can kind of understand from their perspective. They're like, okay, we didn't leave FL Studio 20 because we're scared to go to 21. So now we hear FL Studio 24 is out. We didn't jump to 21 yet, but now they're saying FL Studio 24 is out. So I'm expecting AI to be all through this thing, like magic to happen. And then it's just like small little minute updates. I'm going to tell you guys, I had to leave out so many updates because this was my like overview for the video that I was going to do. And let me just read them to you just so you guys understand. Like, okay, the main thing is the FL Studio Cloud. I think that's really good for the company ImageLine. I think that's amazing because now they can partner up with different software companies and then put their plugin right inside of FL, make it super easy to install. And it's just a very good process. To me, that's the best part. But to a consumer, that's not anything to where we're jumping for joy, because at the end of the day, we have to sign up and it's a paid product. And it's in addition to, and on top of that, you know, trying to figure out how to even find the plugins is hard enough. So again, this is not a critique. I want all the developers to know we are behind y'all and the whole team of ImageLine. You know, shout out to y'all. This is not like a personal critique. It's just, it's unusable right now. I just don't see how anybody released that, at least for the Mac and at least for my system. I'm on Ventura, what is that, 13.4, I think. Okay, so I'm a little behind as far as Mac stuff. So maybe it's better for the new Macs. I have no idea. So their FL Studio mastering, I think this needs a huge revision. I could not recommend FL Studio mastering, AI mastering. Maybe to the very beginner, and maybe to somebody who just does vocals and podcast stuff. Maybe that will be good for them. But for what I'm using it for, I could not put my stamp on the mastering. So those are the two main things that I think, you know, this update had, but it's just stuff that we can't really like get behind because it's not that exciting. Okay. Now what they did do, which is pretty cool, is enhance the CPU. Now that is cool, but again, the issue is, okay, the CPU is lower, but now I'm doing this every 2 seconds. The FL Studio is just, you know, it's twerking around, basically. They had a lot of stuff. The list is so long, you know, you guys can go to the official website, because this list, I was going to cover every single thing, but then I'm like, this is not what we would naturally do in the workflow of a music producer. I think FL's that has the top and best workflow for music producers in the modern age. If you guys are beat makers, the only thing they can truly improve on, and this is what I would just hope that they focus on and stop all this like extra stuff. It's like, and you guys can leave your favorite feature you guys want to see in the comments below, because they have to realize some people in the forums who even take time to go to the forums, they want very specific electronic music, very specific stuff that like an average music producer would not really get into. And I'm generalizing, but some of the features they request for, I'm like, who even needs this? Like, I sound like a hater, but I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying, like, look, the crowd is telling y'all, if y'all could figure out or hire somebody who could get the algorithm from Ableton's Time Warp, just hire an Ableton guy. Just spend all the money that we give you for FL Cloud and go poach somebody from Ableton to give you the Time Warp algorithm. That's all we're, you know, if that's the goal, we'd be proud of y'all. If y'all could figure out how to do a deal with Serato Sample to embed Serato Sample into FL, that would be mind-blowingly the best thing that could ever happen to FL users around the world. If y'all cut that deal to where Serato Sample is embedded inside of FL and somehow y'all like benefit Serato at the same time, that will be mind-blowingly amazing. Okay, that would be the next step for FL Studio, to call it FL Studio 24. You know, FL Studio 24 would have, you know, oh, here goes my notes. FL Studio 24 would have Ableton's Time Warp. I'm telling you, just ask Ableton, hey guys, I know we're competitors, but technically FL's way up here, Ableton's down here, but they have a lot of rich DJs who come out of Ableton. And so I just think, you know what should happen? And this is a freestyle. This is not scripted. I think all the DAWs should come together, just like Native Instruments is buying up all the, like, think about it, guys. Soundwide. What is Soundwide? It was a coalition of companies: Native Instruments, Isotope, Plugin Alliance, Brainworks. There were so many like companies under Native Instruments. They have a monopoly already. So why not, since you guys are embedding Native Instruments stuff inside of FL already, why not all these DAW companies just come together and say, hey, we already have everybody's attention. Why are we trying to compete? Bring the best of Ableton, bring the best of FL, bring the best of Pro Tools somehow, and figure out a way to just make one master DAW. That's what we need, just a master DAW with all the things that we could ever ask for. Maybe that's not doable. I don't know the behind the scenes politics on that, because I think Avid's a public company, if I'm not mistaken. So that might not be as easy to do. But so I just had so many notes about FL24. It's just to be a content creator and say, FL24 came out, guys, here's what's new. There was nothing new that was different than my FL Studio 21.3 update outside of smaller things that we don't really care about as music producers. And I'm not saying that the developers did not pour their life into this, because they probably did. I'm just saying that the vision should be Ableton Time Warp. The vision should be getting the recording process way more streamlined, because right now it's very confusing. The vision should be, what was that third thing I said, guys? Help me in the comments below. My brain is like going, oh, Serato Sample embedded inside of FL. If y'all could figure that out, that's what we would willingly, I would buy FL Studio all over again to get those three things. That's where I think the aim should be. Right now, I get it. They're trying to build out their sounds through FL Cloud. We get that. That makes sense. You guys are trying to compete against Splice, which makes sense because it's all in the DAW and everybody could just click from their favorite producer and just drag and drop their drum kits. We get that. That's cool. We are hoping that you guys can stay at the top though. If FL Studio's at the top, we're expecting top performance. Like for example, we look at NVIDIA, they're the top AI company right now. They're doing top level stuff. Like they're just growing and growing and growing and growing. Maybe it's a money thing, maybe it's a leadership thing, I don't know. And this is no shade to anybody behind the scenes at ImageLine. But to be the top DAW in the world, like we have our expectations way up here. So all I'm saying is here's a hot take. Now you guys can clip this up and put it on social media and I will try to react to it if you tag me. Here's what I believe, and this is a freestyle, no script. I think the DAW that will eat FL Studio's lunch, metaphorically speaking, is BandLab. BandLab, when I first used it, I was like, who these kids are using BandLab recording in their car? It was so foreign to me. But once I realized I can get on my phone, download an app, I can use my Apple, these kind of headphones, my Apple earphone headphones. I can sing into my headphones and it sounds clear. I can add auto-tune in real time to my voice. I can add effects that make the beat sound dope. The beats sound just as dope on the iPhone as it does on the computer. And then I was like, wow, I can make a record that sounds dope on my phone or on the computer even, but I was using it on my phone. And that's when I realized, FL Studio does have a competitor that's silent. It's a silent killer. Because here's what happens, and this is where I'm going to end the conversation about the DAW wars. But I honestly think this DAW might take over FL Studio if FL Studio doesn't correct their vision. BandLab has incorporated auto-tune into their DAW, which is like a built-in thing. I forget what it's called. It's not technically auto-tune from Antares, but it's like an auto-tune function. They've embedded like really nice effects, all these like modular effects. They've embedded where it's easy to import your beat straight from your phone, straight into BandLab. You could do it on the computer. You can collab. You don't even need software from what I understand. You just need an account on their website. And what the schools are doing, and this is why it's so important, all the schools around America are starting to get hip to BandLab because the kids don't have to download anything. All they need is an account on BandLab and they can collab on the beat. They can share the file with the teacher. They can use all the modern effects that we have. They can use all the pre-built sounds. So BandLab is becoming one of those sneaky killers because all the kids are learning on it right now. So imagine in 5 to 10 years, all these new kids who only know BandLab, they don't know about FL, or they knew about FL, but they just kind of disregarded it because BandLab was innovating. That's what could happen. And I don't wish anything upon anybody. I'm just saying that's what I see, and we will see. Who knows? BandLab might take over, especially with web front. Juice 8 just came out. This is so geeky, but Juice 8 just came out. And basically they've embedded a lot of web design inside of it. I don't know all the technicals, but basically like you can have a web interface person build your plugin because they added something. I forget what it, I don't know the terms. Josh from the audio programmer does probably. And lastly, you know, I've updated my Hercules plugin. So if you guys go to HerculesPlugin.com, you guys will see the updated version, and we have 340 plus sounds in there. There's keys, pads, bells, plucks, brass, bass. So the main categories I would say are the best: bass, keys, and my plucks are my favorite. And pads, it depends on if you like to make more ambient style music or play chords. That would be for the chord liking folks. So I've updated my plugin. Just go to HerculesPlugin.com and get it for the early bird pricing because it will go up. So this is a plugin that I built for producers by a producer who knows sound design, who knows his ear, who knows what we like as music producers. So I built that plugin for you guys. This took years in the making, technically, through all my other plugins, but technically speaking, this took, what was it, 6 months plus the years before of all the research and everything that I had to do for all this. So we're just getting started. So that's all I had to say. But the title of this video is going to be called FL Studio 24 was disappointing because why? It was. I can't believe they changed the name to 24. That's kind of misleading as a consumer. No shade to anybody at FL. I want to make this very clear. All the developers who put in all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, we appreciate y'all. Y'all are adding new features that we wouldn't even think of. Shout out to all the people behind the scenes at ImageLine. We like the company. I just think that this was a miss because of everything I said before. All right, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, because this is going to be a controversial FL Studio release, and I'm just curious what you guys think, and I want to see if YouTubers are going to be honest about this. All right, guys, peace out.